At the same time, the country is still reeling in shock following the passing of former Deputy President David Mabuza and former second in command of the African National Congress. He passed away at a Johannesburg hospital on Thursday at the age of 64. For more on this, let's take you now live to SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko, who is indeed for us this evening in Mpumalanga in Barberton, just outside of the family home. Samkele, thank you so much for your time. I mean, just listening to Speedy Mashila a bit earlier on, we now know that the ANC as well as the family and as well as government have now agreed on a date in terms of when David Mabuza will be laid to rest.
Indeed, Mbali, the family and the African National Congress and government have agreed that the former deputy president of the country and of the African National Congress will be laid to rest and interred next week, Saturday, in Mpumalanga. There are discussions now on where to hold the funeral service of the former deputy president. There are discussions of whether he should go to the Mbombela Stadium, knowing the nature of Didi Mabuza and the unity cause that he had, that he touched the lives of all and sundry in politics, in business, in labor, and also ordinary South Africans within Mpumalanga and also the SADC region. There will also be those who will be coming from Russia, where he was receiving his medical treatment. Those discussions are ensuing whether to go to the Mbombela Stadium or to have some sort of dome constructed in and around this area of Barberton. There are also discussions of where he will be interred. There are discussions that it will be here at the family home here in Barberton. Those discussions are currently ensuing, but it did arise that the family and him, David Mabuza, did have a wish that he should be interred. His final resting place should be here at this family farm in Barberton. Where the funeral service will be is a debate that is currently ensuing. The Director General within the Presidency, Dr. Phindile Baleni, was here in discussions with the family alongside the provincial leadership of the government of Mpumalanga, led by Premier Mandla Ndlovu, also the provincial chairperson of the African National Congress, also the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Nomvula Mokonyane. She also did come to see the family, engage with them, and they got a brief as the African National Congress on the deliberations between government and the family, and they are pleased with the processes ensuing thus far.
And Samkele, I mean, before the funeral service takes place, which will be on Saturday, we will be seeing a number of memorial services taking place. Why will there be 3 memorial services in all 3 regions instead of just having one memorial service for all to attend?
The issue is that Mpumalanga is a very vast province, particularly if we have to travel from Garsibande region in Mkondo, in Emelo, coming towards Nelspruit, which is the Ahlanzeni region of the African National Congress, and you go to Kwamhlanga, the Nkangala region of the African National Congress. It is very vast. For instance, traveling from Witbank or going further as Gwandebele in the Greater Nkangala region of the African National Congress, coming towards the site of Ahlanzeni in Mbombela, it is about a 4 to 5 hour drive, and it will be much longer for the buses if they were to come here. Hence, they are saying have all the memorial services in all of the regions of the party. In Garsibande, you have a memorial service. Here in Ahlanzeni, you have your own memorial service, and also in Nkangala, you have your own memorial service that will honor the life and times of the ANC's former deputy president, ANC former provincial chairperson of Mpumalanga, which will be held by the African National Congress, which will give that ownership and presence and mourning to every member of the African National Congress and member of society whom will be unable to travel on Saturday to the official burial of the former deputy president of the ANC. So that is their thinking, that to try and cut down the costs of bringing everyone to one central venue, that you have 3 different memorials in all of the 3 regions of the organization, Ahlanzeni, Nkangala, and Garsibande.
And something quite interesting which we saw today is indeed a Russia delegation making its way to Barberton. And, looking at some of the reports coming in, we do understand that the former deputy president spent at least 21 days in Russia receiving medical care. Why do we now see a Russia delegation coming to pay their respects?
He had a very good relationship with the Russians, particularly dating back to when he was poisoned, when he was still the premier of Mpumalanga and provincial chairperson. He had been receiving medical treatment in Russia over the course of the years. When he was really sick during his era as deputy president of the country, he had to be taken to Russia to receive a medical treatment. You'd remember that period when South Africans were asking, where is the deputy president of South Africa? Where is David Mabuza? He was in Russia receiving medical treatment. In one of those scenarios where he had received medical treatment in Russia, he had gone on official government business at first. He had met President Vladimir Putin. Then ultimately he went on to receive medical treatment. There was also a subsequent time where he went straight from South Africa to Russia to receive medical treatment. There was during a time in during COVID-19 where he was called the king of social distancing, when he was also receiving medical treatment within Russia. So there are a number of times where he has had to go to Russia to receive that particular medical treatment that he had been suffering from ill health over the course of the years.
All right, that's our reporter there, Samkele Maseko, just giving us the latest coming out from preparations for former Deputy President David Mabuza's funeral. And of course, we now know, hearing from the family this evening, that the funeral service is set to take place on Saturday, the 12th of July.